It's 847, 747 Central at 99.9 The Big Dog. Every couple of weeks, I always try to talk some finances on the air, just kind of educate myself and help educate you as well by inviting Dale Smothers into the studio. Dale is the host of Retirement Matters. It's a program that you hear Saturday mornings after the 9 o'clock news on The Big Dog, and it's a program full of information for folks that are fed up with outdated financial advice.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
That's
you know where I'm going
That's
with
it.
This one.
That's how we open the show, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So welcome to The Big Dog this Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
This Wednesday morning, 9/11 today is September 11th.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I was wanting to take the conversation that direction anyway. 9/11, 24 years. It's unbelievable how much time has changed in 24 years and how quickly it's gotten to this point. You know, I mean, it speaks specifically talking about the stock market. I looked at where the S&P 500 was the week of 9/11. Mm-hmm. Of course, we know 2001. The S&P 500 closed that week at 1,342 points. Today, it sets at 5,495 points. In 24 years, up 309%. You know, the idea of...
Would that be 20? That's 23 years.
It's right. You're exactly right. 23 years. Yeah. So 23 years. Yes. So in 23 years now, we've looked at this market up 309%. Mm-hmm. This is unreal to see how we've gotten here as well. And in 2000, we had a major crash. 2008, we had a major crash. We've had several bad years along the way in the market. Of course, 9/11 changed the country. It opened our eyes to what could be out there. And I think up until that point, Americans felt pretty safe. Right. And since we've felt a little bit of uneasiness in terms of terrorism in America. However, when it comes to retirement, the uneasiness is also there. 2000, in reality, changed the world. The market changed. From the year 2000 till now, the stock market has behaved pretty erratically. There's been a lot of money put into the market. A lot of that money is federal money, and that's kind of where we are right now. We're bid up pretty high in the S&P 500. However, I don't think that it's all bad news. We've got a pretty neat report coming out today called the CPI. Are you familiar?
That's exactly right. Yeah. I am very much familiar with it. Yeah. And also, I've noticed that where we've been down, we've been back up the next day. We've seen, some bumps in the road lately. Sure. Even yesterday was like a little bumpy, but it, I think, closed in the green.
Yeah. And, we've seen, in the past 3 weeks, we've seen some of the worst days that we've seen in many years in the market.
But you warned us of August and September.
That's it. September and October is where we get into winter. And in August, it actually came a little bit early. Mm-hmm. Winter came early this year. We certainly are up to the task of getting through this season. Just like every winter that we experience, we don't go out and sell our swimming trunks. We talked about this last week on the show. In winter, we don't sell every pair of summer clothing we have in our closet. I don't think it's time to sell the good stocks that you have in your portfolio right now. It's not time to go out just because the market is down and sell. I think it requires a plan. We talk about this every single weekend. In order to retire effectively, you have to have a plan. One of those plans that you have to have is how you're going to invest your money and how you're going to weather things like this financial winter. CPI is coming out today. The CPI should show us that inflation is cooling just a little bit. We haven't had nearly as bad of inflation over the last 12 months.
Which means you'll see a little rise in the stock market at closing time today.
Yeah, and so we got a lot of mixed signals. It's very bizarre. You're exactly right. The CPI being lower should trigger a little bit more of a buying spree in the market. Right. But again, historically, there are less buyers than there are sellers during this time of year. Everyone who is wanting to buy something in the market has. Typically in September and October, we see less buyers. All the sellers coming to market make the prices go low. It's actually a really good way to look at the market. If you thought of a room specifically, say a room this size, and everyone who wanted to buy and sell decided to come into this room, well, if all the buyers leave the room, the remaining buyers that stay are going to be able to demand any price they want whenever they're buying this particular stock or good, which means the sellers have to drive their prices lower to get rid of that good. It's exactly what's taking place in the market.
He's educating you, Big Dog Country. He's basically just telling you that the way it is, and this could be above people's head to a certain degree.
A little bit.
And that's why they have to have somebody like yourself that can advise people on this type of stuff individually. Absolutely. And I think you deal with many folks a week individually that have come into money that want to invest or maybe take a good look at the 401k plan and things like that. And they don't know all the lingo and the terminology and things like that. but you do. And that's why that you're obviously on the radio this morning talking about this.
Exactly. And you want to make your money work for you. We talk about lazy money. I think everybody can understand that. Money that's just sitting idle, doing nothing. It's time to put that money to work. And if you don't put that money to work, I've heard it said once that money can be a really good servant, but it can be a terrible taskmaster. And if you're not careful, if you don't make your money work for you, it will set and sometimes disappear from you. It'll run off. It won't do what you expect it to do. Saving up for retirement requires discipline. It requires a plan. When you get to retirement, we talk about the phase of growth that many people go through while they're working. They're growing to a specific point in their retirement account where they can walk away from work and know they're going to be okay. After that point, you have now transitioned into income phase where you're no longer a buyer of stocks. You have to sell these stocks to be able to generate the income.
Exactly.
That requires a different set of plans. That's where we come in, helping an individual take the money that they have amassed, whether it's a windfall of money or a steady saving of money over the years, and turn that into something that grows safely without market risk and turns into income if you demand it. In retirement years, most people need that money to work for them to generate the income.
You know, the power of knowledge when it comes to finances is so important because impoverished people can't teach finances.
Sure.
And people who come into money, let's just say if you win the lottery or if you inherit something or you sell something and come into money, a good financial education is really, really good at that time. I mean,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And it's, again, it's people like you that you need to come and talk to and invest money and learn the stock market and things like that. And hopefully I haven't drifted off too far of what we're talking about this morning. But
well, it's end of the day, I mean, you think about trying to make it understandable to the common person.
Right.
Again, we talk on a daily basis. I talk about and read things like the CPI report. People don't read that on a regular basis. The jobless reports. These things help us understand which way the market's going, but we're looking at things on an intricate level, day-to-day movements. That's what my job is. Most of the listeners that we are talking to, their job is to put money away, make sure they have it in the right place, which is where we come in to make sure they're in the right place, and then to just let the compound interest effect do what it's supposed to do. It will grow your money. It's built to fly. We talk a lot about the airplane analogy. It's built to fly. The worst thing you can do is interrupt compound interest unexpectedly, and that would be like jumping out of the airplane because we experience turbulence. It's a bad idea.
It's a penalty, folks.
It's going to weather the storm. We talk a lot about this on our show every single Saturday. We would love for you to tune in if you've never heard the show. Again, we try our best to make it as simple as possible. We take the complex and make it simple. But at the end of the day, what you've got to be able to do whenever you're getting ready to retire, whether it's our firm at RDS Wealth or it's a totally different firm, you've got to put together a plan for your retirement income first and foremost, and from there you know where you need to invest your money.
Saturday mornings after the 9 o'clock news.
Yes, sir.
Dale Smothers, Retirement Matters.
Absolutely. Appreciate your time, Larry.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
There he is. It's 8:56. We'll announce our birthday winner coming up in a moment on The Big Dog.